Continue now with our lead story. Russia thumbing its nose at the world. Joining us from Los Angeles, radio talk show host Leslie Marshall and former Democratic Congressman from Ohio, Dennis Kucinich. Mr. Kucinich, you ran for president. You remember that when you were running for president? I have a little button. Remember that?
I ran on a platform that opposed the war in Iraq and Afghanistan.
You opposed the Revolutionary War. Okay. So say you were elected.
The war in Iraq was wrong.
No, I said the Revolutionary War.
Bill, don't be ridiculous. You know, I'm an American. I stand for America's interests. And this stuff in Russia,
it's a little jest.
You have to ask what's right for America.
It's a little jest, okay? So calm down.
Okay.
So say you were elected president, all right? And you're in the exact same position that Barack Obama's in right now. Putin rolls into the Crimea, violating international law. What do you do?
What I do is not have USAID and the National Endowment for Democracy working with U.S. taxpayers' money to knock off an elected government in Ukraine, which is what they did. I wouldn't try to force the people of Ukraine into a deal with NATO against their interest or into a deal with the European Union, which is against their economic interests.
So it's the USA's fault that Putin rolled in? We made him do it?
You have to... Bill O'Reilly, if you don't believe in cause and effect, I don't know what I can do for you.
All right, I'm just asking you, is it America's fault? Did America provoke Putin to roll into the Crimea, in your opinion?
Well, you have to look at what happened. The U.S. has been involved covertly and behind the scenes with the CIA, with the National Endowment for Democracy, and USAID to stir up trouble in Ukraine.
All right.
Now you've got neo-Nazis that are in control.
So the CIA went door to door in Kiev, forcing people into the streets to demonstrate against.
This is a serious issue. You know,
it's a serious issue.
What's happened.
But I don't think I think from what I'm hearing, but I want to get to Leslie, but I'll come back. You can think about it. From what I'm hearing, you're blaming the USA for subverting Ukraine in the first place, thereby giving Putin a pass to go in and invade. That's what I'm hearing, but I'll get back to you. Leslie, what would you do?
Well, first of all, this is not the United States' fault. This is Putin's fault. This man, since childhood, has been a thug, and that's what he is. Your word, I believe I call him a bully, Bill. What we need to do is isolate, and I think that the president has started to do that financially and with the international stature of Russia. We have our allies like the UK, Germany, Poland, and the other G8 countries who, you know, we say, hey, we got to put the brakes on planning for the meeting in Sochi. We're going to cancel the meeting in Moscow, which the president did. Cancel meetings with regard to energy or naval cooperation in Washington, D.C.
Well, you heard my talking points.
We also need to go further talking about...
It doesn't look like Britain or Germany or France is going to go along with any kind of economic thing against Putin. So they'll cancel a bunch of meetings, and I'm sure Putin will really lose sleep over that, and maybe they'll make fun of his hat. But come on, Leslie, when you say rally the international, there is no indication that President Obama has the power to rally anybody to do anything.
No, I don't agree with that. And, Bill, I think you would agree with me that nobody in the international community certainly wants military action. I don't think anybody in the United States...
We're not talking about military action. We can't even get...
for Charles,
we can't even get economic
action.
sanctions. The UK press is reporting that the government in London is not going to do anything. So I think that you're operating in the theoretical realm. Let's go back to Dennis Kucinich. So, from your point of view, the United States caused this mess. Putin was right to go into Crimea, violate international law. Is he right to take over the whole country and kind of annex it toward Moscow?
That's not going to happen. And of course that wouldn't be right. You know,
Crimea is okay. Crimea is okay.
We should be concerned about we should be concerned about the Ukrainian people because they're being used right now. They would be used by the IMF in a new austerity program, by NATO to go on the doorstep of Russia.
Do you think the Ukrainian people would be better off under Putin's heel or in the EU?
The people of Ukraine have to make that decision.
And they did.
Ukrainians for Ukraine.
They deposed
Russia,
the puppet leader and they
States.
threw him out. They made the decision.
Well, wait a minute. That wasn't democratic. That was stirred up from behind the scenes.
Democratic.
It wasn't democratic.
The president who was elected democratically then suspended many Democratic, like the right to assembly. I mean, all right, look, I don't want to get involved in Ukrainian politics. I don't think that's what we need to do here.
And we shouldn't be.
All right, so you're blaming us for it. That's a pretty interesting point of view.
You have to look at the United States behind-the-scenes efforts in Ukraine to understand what's going on. 65 programs supported by the National Endowment for Democracy.
But I want to give you a heads up to get ready. I want you to give it a heads up to get ready, Dennis. When China seizes the Japanese islands, which they're going to do after watching this debacle, then I want you to come back on and explain how the United States made that happen. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
I'll be glad to talk to you at any time, though.
All right, good.